My darlings, this is Alive, and today we're talking about the 4 ways men play dumb and when. Okay, so I am going to put you on some game, and I really wish we could do this in private, but let's have it. I'm gonna type it in while everybody comes in, and feel free to fast forward if you're watching the replay. Hello. Ways men play dumb and win. There we go. Hello, darlings. Let's see if we can pin it. Pin that baby. Perfection. How are you, my loves? Hope you are well. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in the world. It's always great to hang out with you. I am back in London, England, and I haven't had a chance to catch up with you, my darlings, in a bit, but I'm really happy to be back. It's super cold, but so is Boston, so I don't feel like I'm missing out on too much. Much love from SA, Philo, and Official. Thank you, my darling. I bet you're enjoying the best possible weather. Okay, let's get into it. Just for the sake of those who are watching the replay, if you have any questions, do put them in the question section so that I can answer them for you before I go. Or leave a comment and I'll come back to it after this live. Fantastic. Great. So today I'm going to talk to you about the 4 ways men play dumb and win. Okay. But they don't win over black swans because we're just far too smart and far too self-respecting. Okay. So let's start with, why do men play dumb? Now, the biggest scam of the universe, of centuries, of decades, that men have succeeded in playing on women is playing dumb. And we feed so much into that narrative because we have a ego. Oh, men are so stupid. Oh, he's so dumb. He's so stupid. Oh, men don't have brains. We're conditioned to believe that men are stupid. And the best thing they ever did for themselves was to actually go along with it. Because if a man can go along with it, then he can get away with minimal investment, minimal effort, and play dumb. And then the woman feels like, oh, it's because he's dumb, so I have to educate him. It's because he's dumb that I have to negotiate with him. So on goes the situation. He plays dumb, you go blah, 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 blah. He completely zones you out and continues to do what he wants to do whilst getting a maximum return on investment. Okay, so he is playing dumb, and I'm going to give you some examples and some ways that men play dumb so we can get smart, okay? And how much of an investment. So I've always told this, and I want you to remember this, ladies. Men in general, not all men, but in general, men want to get the most sexual access, the most emotional investment, the most loyalty, the most out of a woman for the least possible investment. The least possible financial investment, the least possible emotional investment, the least time investment. If you understand what I've just said, you are nearly on the way, baby girl. Okay, you're nearly there. It is not in most men's best interest to give their best emotional investment, their best financial investment, their best whatever investment to a woman that they don't consider a wife. To a woman that they don't consider to be, oh, amazing, out of their league, wow. If a man does not perceive you as, oh my God, dream girl, if you're not his dream girl, if you're not the woman he would marry and have children with, he is going to try to offer you the lowest investment in all those areas that I've mentioned. And the way he gets away with it is because we think our ego, right? Our ego likes to believe that men are stupid. Men are not stupid. They're not stupid. As women, I remember growing up and, constantly hearing that men are stupid, right? They're not stupid. They're actually super, super, super smart and super, super, super focused. Now, men have this ability that we don't have as women because our brains are not wired like theirs. We think and feel at the same time. We're great thinkers. Our prefrontal cortex, huge, great decision makers, great thinkers, great leaders. Our minds are bigger on the frontal part than men. But we feel simultaneously. So our emotional centers are huge too. So we have a part in our brain that is bigger than men's. And so we think and feel simultaneously. So we are blurred by this ability to think and feel. It allows us to do 1,001 things as women, to raise children, to be multi-organized and all these multitasking, all these other things. But when it comes to being able to truly focus, men, whilst their brains are a little bit smaller in the frontal cortex with executive functions, they are actually able to be in one part of the brain and not be affected by another part of the brain. So this is what really makes them different from us and more capable of doing what I'm going to be talking to you about, right? When a man has decided quite quickly, she's not going to be the woman I'm going to marry, she's not my dream girl, she's not the best I can do, he's instantly going to get into the left side of his brain, that part of his brain, lock himself in there and have one focus. Right now, I need sexual attention. Right now, I need emotional attention. Right now, I need an ego stroke. So my focus is going to be to get that. But I have to do that with the least possible financial, emotional, and time investment. Okay? All right. Of course, you're going to think to yourself, good Lord, you're going to feel really messed up because you're going to be thinking to yourself, this guy, he likes me, but you're thinking, he likes me, but maybe he doesn't understand how I feel. This is something that I hear a lot from girls. Oh, I think maybe I need to explain to him how I feel. I need to explain to him how I feel. I need to explain to him what his actions are doing to me. I need to tell him, I need this, I need that. And that's a trap. That's a trap. Okay? It's a trap because as long as you think he's dumb and you can talk him into giving more, being more for you, he will continue to leave you in ambiguity and eventually hurt you. And he will play dumb about the pain that he's causing you. So let's start with number one. Men will play dumb all over the world, all the time, about the impact of them deceiving you into bed. Men will tell themselves, well, she enjoyed it too. Men will play dumb and they'll act like they know what it means for a woman to lay down with them. They know. I'm just letting y'all know. For those of you who think you need to explain it to a guy, trust me, men know. They know when a woman lays down with them, what that means for her. I want you to just sit with that. He knows that even if she was playing Miss Sexual Liberation, he knows deep down inside, women are not wired to just have casual sex. He knows, but he's going to play dumb. He's going to act like he doesn't know that you wanted a relationship. He's going to act like it. He might not say it, but he's going to act like it. He's going to act like it, and he's going to say, well, you kind of put it on you like, oh, you didn't say. And if you do say, he's already got a way out. Men know that women want a relationship to feel safe in physical intimacy. But remember, his focus and his goal is to extract the most for the least. So of course he's going to charm you. Of course he's going to tell you everything you need to know. But don't ever think for a minute that when you are intimate with a guy and you wake up the next morning and you are feeling all attached and gooey, that he doesn't realize that that's how you feel. He recognizes that's how you feel. He recognizes that you want him to stay. He recognizes that you want more emotional time and investment, but he's going to act like he doesn't know. And then guess what's going to happen? You're going to be thrown into survival mode, because guess what? When we're used sexually, we're exposed and we become unprotected. We're exposed. And guess what happens when we're exposed? Our nervous system gets into survival mode. And guess what we do? Because we're now in survival mode, what we're going to do? Cling. And our ego is going to tell us, right? Our ego is going to tell us you weren't good enough in bed. You didn't please him. You did something wrong. But if you try a little bit harder, okay, if you try a little bit harder and send him some naked pictures or really kind of flirt with him sexually, he's going to remember how good this situation was, and he's going to come back. And the more he keeps coming back, then he's going to commit to you. He's going to commit to you because you're going to show him that you're really good at this. And maybe you didn't throw down. You didn't give him we had a client in one of the groups. And she was dating this guy. And, she decided to be intimate. Yes, manipulation. We don't see it. We don't understand. You're welcome. She decided she was going to be intimate with him. I did tell her, not now, not yet, but I can only tell you. At the end of the day, you got to figure out what you want to do. So anyway, she went behind my back, did her thing, slept with him, came back crying because, all of a sudden he was going cold and all these things. And she was so fixated on her performance in the bedroom that she wasn't hearing what I was trying to say. She was like, oh, I don't think I was performing properly. And she was giving all these details about how she was on top and how she doesn't feel she did him good while she was, PG. Okay. She was giving all of this information. We're all kind of like thinking, all the coaches were in the group and were like, I beg your pardon. And we were like, good Lord, woman, it has nothing to do with your gymnastics. It's got nothing to do with how much you can spin how much you can swing off a chandelier. He knows, he's not dumb. He's going to play it off. He's going to let your brain make up reasons. He's going to let your ego take over. He's not dumb. I don't even want to get into sex. Okay, that's another module for another time. But a man's always going to enjoy a sexual encounter with a woman. Is he going to enjoy it the most with a woman who's like a log? Probably not. But he's going to get what he came for. Okay. I'll keep it PG. She genuinely, like most of us believe, it was because I wasn't performing. And he's going to play dumb. He's going to let you believe that. He just doesn't want to give you the most. He wants the most for the least. And he will let you do that. And then now you are in a position, because you think he's dumb, where you're now chasing him. You're now trying to perform. You're now doing too much. You're thinking, maybe next time I'm going to spring off the chandeliers and the bench and the tree and do the hoop-a-doop. I don't know what people are out here thinking they're doing, right? That's him playing dumb so that he can always get sexual access, leave you feeling like you're the problem. And we let them. And guess what we decide to do? I'm going to talk to him about it. I'm going to talk to him and let him know how I feel. Right. Now, granted, you all know, if you're here, part of the Black Swan Relationship Academy, that we don't sleep with men unless we know exactly what's going on. And we already know what kind of commitment that we're expected to have. And, we signed that contract before we offered the goods. But let's say you didn't. It was a spur of the moment and you decide that your oxytocin bond makes him the man of your dreams. Okay? Most of the time he isn't. Okay? Because he, remember, has made the least possible investment and is getting the highest possible returns. But now you slept with him, so you're bonded. And you decide, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to convince him to choose me. The only thing you can do, okay, is set a standard. The next time he calls for a little bit more, he's taking you out on a date. That's what's up. He's going to take you out on a date, and he's going to make an effort, and he's going to make an investment, and that's going to be the situation. Or he gets no access. And then, if you're a really high value woman, a really smart woman, you don't make sexual access automatic. And that goes for any woman in a relationship. Even if you're in an exclusive, committed relationship and you're not married, we don't ever make automatic access to our bodies. That's like wife stuff, right? The wife and the husband, their bodies belong to each other, okay? But if he's not your husband, you can make him invest, say goodbye, and let him go about his business. If he actually really does like you, if he actually just really likes you as a person and really wants to continue, he'll take that. He's going to try, obviously, because men feel entitled to always have access to a woman they've accessed before. But if he's really the one, you're going to let him go. You're not going to have long-winded conversations because he is not stupid. And so many of us buy into this idea that this man is stupid. He's not stupid. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knew exactly what he was doing when he was walking up to you. And he made up his mind very quickly. First 15 minutes, hour max. If you were his dream girl, potentially his dream girl, the woman he would want to marry, he's already made up that story. And you thinking, I need to talk to him, or I need to give him more of the same, and then he will change. That's you being dumb. Okay. But you're not dumb because you're a black swan. Black swans are not dumb. We're smart. We're very smart. We're very elegant. We're very sophisticated. We are high value women. Okay. So we're not going to be dumb. But what we are going to do is reset those standards. Okay. Reevaluate access. And know in our heads, he's not dumb. He knows what he's doing. He knew what he was doing when he woke up early, got dressed like he was being chased by the police and ran out of the house. He knew what he was doing. You don't need to explain anything to him. Let that boy go. Do not send him a text message. Don't be saying, oh, you left. Let him go and play dumb, and you play dumber. Okay? Next time he wants access, you are not available. Unless he's actually planning. So it would go something to the tune of, oh, I'd like to come and see you, which is code for I'd like to come and sleep with you. Okay. Your response is going to be, oh, how lovely. I've spent the whole day in. I'd love to see you, but I've been in all day. Love to go out and do something. Where would you like to take me? Where would you like us to go? What do you have planned? Tell me what you have planned, and I will be happy to come along. Okay. Now, he's not dumb because he knows exactly what that means. Okay. I want you to say with me in the comments, he's not dumb. He's not dumb. He's not dumb. Okay, we need to reprogram our minds. Okay, so that's what you're going to say to him. You're going to say, I'm spending a lot of time in. Love to do something. Let me know what you've got planned. And if he's like, this girl is starting to ask too much. Yes, he's not dumb. He's not dumb. He's not dumb. Men are not dumb. Please, ladies, you have been scammed. If you think men are stupid, if you think they're dumb and they're acting out of a lack of knowledge, you are dumb. You are allowing yourself to be dumb. Men are not dumb. And you're not dumb either. Trenderfield, you are not dumb either. Black swans are not dumb, we're exquisite, we're smart, we're elegant, we're sophisticated, we're feminine, we're soft. And we know how to deal with a man within our feminine energy without ever leaving. Okay. Good. The next point, okay. He plays dumb about hurting you and disrespecting you. If you are walking down the street and he's checking out every other woman, looking at her, acting like he's not dumb. He knows he's disrespecting you. He knows it. Okay? I get all these women saying, oh, my man, he checks out other women. What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to do about that? I'm going to tell you what you do about that in just a minute. But only if we are all willing to accept that he's not dumb. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows that he's looking at other women and he knows you can see him. He's trying to minimize you. He's trying to humble you. He's trying to bring you down a peg. He's trying to make you feel insecure. Why? Because the truth is, he has no real value to give you, except the manipulation and the perception that he's somebody worth keeping. A lot of men who have no value, who are of no interest, who give and bring nothing to the table, only spend time manipulating women. This is not all men. I'm talking about, we know the types. We know the types I'm talking about, okay? Some men, a man who has substance, a man who has integrity, a man who's after purpose, a man who knows who he is, loves himself, and has achieved great things in his life, doesn't need to dupe a woman. He doesn't. He really doesn't. I've dated a lot of millionaires, very wealthy men. They don't rush you into the bed. They don't rush you sexually. They don't need to dupe you. Because taking care of you and spoiling you to things is kind of what they can afford. It's what they do. It's who they are as men. Okay? You don't get rushed into the bedroom or duped and manipulated as much by a man of actual substance. I'm not just talking about a man with money. I'm talking about a man with substance because he knows he's enough. He knows he is enough. He knows he's desirable. He knows he's highly desired and desirable. He knows what he brings to the table. He doesn't need to play you. He doesn't. He just moves in straight lines. Okay? It's the men who have nothing to offer, which unfortunately is probably like the majority of men. They have nothing to offer, so they got to play these games. So he wants you walking around with him, looking at other women, complimenting other women, not telling you you're beautiful because it's intentional. He's not dumb. He knows what he's doing. And then you're going to start craving his attention. You're going to start craving his, please tell me that I am pretty. And please tell me I look good. And please make me feel like I'm the best looking woman in the room. He knows that's what you want. He knows that's what you need to flourish, to be happy with him. Men know what women's emotional needs are. He's just not doing it. And he's going to play dumb. He's going to act like he doesn't know you need that. He's going to play, oh, yeah, I was just looking. Okay. And then because you're new to the black swan, you haven't been a black swan long enough. And you just don't know how we move in our dark feminine energy. And if you don't, by all means, comment help and you will receive a link to talking to one of our coaches, or educate and you'll receive a link to the courses, the feminine course, right? The dark feminine. All right. So if you are out with him and he is looking at other women, this is what you're going to say. Okay. Today I got some game for you. Okay. This is what you're going to say. You're going to say, all of a sudden, I feel really tired. I'd like to go home, please. Okay, that's it. Now you gotta be a black swan to do that. That means you gotta have high self-esteem. You gotta have high self-worth. You've gotta be somebody who knows yourself, love yourself, value yourself. Okay, if we have a problem with that, we can help you with that. We can help, my coaches and I, we're gonna help you with that. Okay. We can fix that. It's a journey, but we're gonna fix it. Problem with us ladies is this: we're so excited to be on the date. We're so excited. Maybe he hasn't called us for like 6 weeks. And so one time he's giving us attention. And we finally managed to get him to take us out on a date. Okay, I don't know what you're doing with that guy, but that's life. Okay, I'm here to equip you, not judge you. And, you're on the stage, you're so excited. And now he's checking out other women or saying things that are disrespectful or minimizing you and just making you feel crap. And we don't tolerate feeling crap in our bodies because we're feminine women. We don't tolerate that feeling. We are open and receptive and available to men that make us feel good. Okay? Because a feminine woman needs to feel good to do good. Okay? And a masculine man has to do good to feel good. Okay? Write that down. A feminine woman needs to feel good to do good. And so if you are doing, when a man is not making you feel good, he's not making you feel beautiful, lovely, adored, charming you, you're not feeling good, you're not feeling taken care of, you're not feeling safe, and you're still doing good, you're now in your masculine energy. You're now doing to win him. You're now in your masculine. A man has to make you feel good, and then you do good. And then you're at your most flirtatious, your most seductive, your most loving, your most playful, okay? Because he makes you feel good. If you're in a situation where he's hurting your feelings, minimizing you, looking at other women, all of a sudden, okay? All of a sudden, you're tired. All of a sudden, you feel exhausted. All of a sudden, you need to go home. All of a sudden, I feel a bit nauseous. Would it be okay if I went home? Would you take me home, please? And why are we doing that, ladies? Because no, a black swan does not ruffle her feathers, darlings. We're just too beautiful, too elegant, too sophisticated, and way too elegant to ruffle our beautiful feathers now. Because he's not dumb. You know he's not dumb. And trust me, he's going to know why all of a sudden you're feeling nauseous. Okay? He's gonna know. He's gonna know why all of a sudden you feel tired. You feel tired. I'll tell you a personal story. Maybe I shouldn't, but I will. So I'm dating this guy and, things are going great. And then he decides he's no longer willing to invest at the level that I require investment. Okay? So he says to me, oh, I was thinking, we had a date planned, and he said, I was thinking, can I just come over to yours today? So I said to him, all of a sudden, I feel so tired and I just need to rest. Okay, so he got the message. And he was like, okay, get some rest. Now, I was gutted. I was actually looking forward to seeing him. We had a thing going on, okay? He was sexy. He was hot. And I was excited. But being high value is about playing the long game. It's about valuing yourself above and beyond any experience somebody can give you. It's about overcoming your desires in the moment. Delayed gratification belongs to black swans. I knew that obviously I told him I was tired. He wasn't going to force it. I was gutted. I spent the rest of the day watching television. Really annoying. But guess what? The next time he made contact, he offered me to go on a beautiful date. Okay? Okay, it's that simple. Okay? And what I was doing was setting a boundary. We're not doing that. If you're going to date me, what we do is we make effort and investment and it keeps going up, not down, up. Okay? Yeah. And that is how you end up having amazing dating experiences with men when you realize that they're not dumb. I didn't have to say to him, well, I feel like you're not investing, like some of us would. Okay, I know some of you need training. Okay, no. That's not how we deal with men. That's not how feminine women deal with men. We don't confront them. We don't have confrontational conversations. We don't do the whole gotcha, I saw you. A lot of us women have this problem Okay, especially modern women. We want to know. We want him to know that we know the game is playing. No, baby. No. If he's leading with being dumb, then you're just as dumb as he is. Because he's leading this. So if he wants to play dumb, you play dumb. Okay? You just say, I'm feeling tired. If you are out on a date and is misbehaving, all of a sudden you got a headache, you need to go. All of a sudden. And I want you to use those words, all of a sudden, because you're letting him know, I was good. I was good all day. I was good when you picked me up. I was good until you did that. Until you did that, I saw you looking, then you looked at her, then you looked at her. Okay? I saw you, and you know that I saw you, and I was fine until you started insulting me. I was fine until you ignored how well put together I was for this date. I did spend, girls, Black SWAN spend a lot of time getting ready for dates. Okay, I need to put in at least an hour and a half of preparation. I gotta curl the hair. I gotta do the makeup, choose the outfit. It's a lot of work. Figure out where I'm going, get myself into the right vibration. It's a lot of work, right? And now if a man's gonna pick me up and he's going to take me on a date and not mention how fabulous I am looking, okay? Now, these are my personal standards, girls. It might not be important to you. It might not be important to you that a man says you look good. But if I've made the effort, I want you to tell me that I look good. And most times men will do that because, do I look like chopped liver? Don't be looking at me like chopped liver. Okay? I made this effort for you. And I know people be like, no, you did it for yourself. No, I did it for him. Because for myself, I would have no makeup, sitting in my house with my silk scarf on my head, watching TV. That's what I do for myself. I do it because I'm respecting his eyes. I am showing his eyes respect. Okay, because I'm a feminine woman and I respect a man and I respect his eyes. All right, so I'm not one of these girls going to lie to you and say I'm doing it for myself. I'm not doing it for him. Okay, so I've done this for him because he's going to be doing stuff for me. He planned the date for me and he's going to pay for the date for me. Not because I'm entitled to it, but I only date gentlemen, unfortunately, for those who are not. So usually he will be happy to pay. So he's doing stuff for me and it's my job to bring the effervescence, the beauty, the style, the fun, the playfulness. That's the feminine's job. Okay, that's our job. That's what we bring to the table. All of this fantasticness. Okay. And so, you're going to say all of a sudden, I feel X. And let that man drive you home. And let me tell you something, ladies. We don't get sweet talked out of our position. Repeat after me. We don't get sweet talked out of our position. If a man plays dumb on a Black SWAN, you will make him follow through. So, like I said in my story, when I said all of a sudden I'm tired, there was nothing he was going to say to me, nothing to change my mind. If you use this move, you better be a Black SWAN, because if you see him disrespect you, if you see him hurt you, don't you dare for a minute think he doesn't know what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. And you are all of a sudden going to excuse yourself, and he is going to get in the car and drive you home, assuming he picked you up. And if he was the one to arrange your transport to the place, he must arrange transport for you to go home. And if he wasn't, I want you to get your phone and book your Uber and leave him standing there. My sisters will tell you, I don't play, but I will never make you feel stupid. And give him a kiss on the cheeks. Mwah, mwah, maybe next time. I promise you, he is never going to do it again. He's going to be very annoyed that you did it. Because a lot of men meet a lot of women who do not give them consequences. And when they present the consequence, they don't follow through. Honey, get in your cab. Go home. Lock yourself in and cry over your soup. But you would have made a statement about who you are, your value and your worth. And not just to him, but to yourself. Because what we do to ourselves that matters the most for the next guy. If you sell yourself a loaf of bread with guy number 1, you're going to sell yourself for a crumb with guy number 2. But when you stand up in your dignity, in your black swan energy, and you fight for yourself, advocate for yourself by separating yourself from situations and circumstances where somebody wants to play the fool in your company, but never, ever, ever disrespect them. Never, ever say, well, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing because Chengi told me that you're not dumb. No, you don't know nothing. You are just all of a sudden tired. I promise you the next time you meet him, he will not be looking at other women. He won't do it. Because he will understand that if it's Chengi or Jeanette or who else is on here, she's flawless. If I'm dating her and I put one foot off and I try my games, the games I play with the little ducklings up the road, she's not for it. I was talking to this guy, okay, and he was telling me about his cousin. And he was like, oh, you women, you're so hard. I don't know what's wrong with you. You're just so difficult. I was like, what happened? He said, my cousin, he planned to meet this girl, finish work, race down to meet in central London. He was in the cab for 1 hour, 30 minutes to meet this girl. And they were going to have a picnic in the park, and he planned everything. He gets to the park and he calls the girl, and the girl says, and he says, can you meet me halfway? Can you meet me on the other side of the park? And she said, no, I am wearing heels. My shoes are not comfortable. You are already late, and I've been waiting, and I'm settled where I am. Would it be okay if you just kept coming? I've been waiting already. You may as well come. No, meet me halfway. She could have just met him halfway, blah, blah, blah. These women, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I'm listening to the whole thing and I'm like, yes, girl. Yes, 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 yes. Because standards, baby. So I know what she was doing. She was setting a standard for herself. So anyway, he decided to put his foot down because he's the almighty guy. And he said, maybe we should do this some other time. And she was like, no problem. No, I think she said, well, okay, if you're not prepared to come to the side of the park, because the park was quite big. It was going to probably be like another 20-minute, 30-minute walk for her. So you're already late. Be a gentleman. Apologize, run, sweat. That's what we need to see. Okay, I'm so sorry. Because, it doesn't matter. I was at work and this happened, the dog, the cat, the pig. I left my home. I made myself pretty. I came to see you. I've been sitting in this park. Come on now. So anyway, he buggered off. So she said, listen, we can do this some other time. Standards, consequences, standards, consequences, black swans. And he left and he went and he told all his guy friends, these women, blah, 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 blah. Next time I heard, not only was he taking her to a higher quality date, but he was on time and he was well behaved. Okay. That is how it's done. She was prepared to rob herself of immediate gratification to make that man show her the respect she deserves. He's never been late. Never. Did he go away and complain and tell all his friends and blah, 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 and they did these women? Yes, of course they did. Because guess what? When somebody who came to give minimum investment wants maximum returns, doesn't get any returns, or gets the returns that are in alignment with your investment, they're not going to like it. They're not going to like it. And as women, we have a hard time with men not liking our standards. You are never going to be a high value, high status, and high worth woman if you have a problem with a man not liking your standards. I mean, what are we expecting here, girls? That he's just going to skip and hop and... even if the guy I was telling you about, the one before that, the one you say all of a sudden you're tired and can he take you home? He's not going to drive you home in a good mood. He's going to be sulking. But are you able to figure out, well, I don't feel good. this is my boundary, and this is where I end and you begin. Like that attitude, that's you. You're entitled to be upset. You're entitled to feel disappointed. You're entitled to whatever you feel, but that's not my responsibility. You had one responsibility, sir, to treat me like a lady, to make me feel special. After all, you invited me. After all, you were the one who came up to me while I was minding my own blessed business. Okay? I was minding my own business. Whether it was online or on the streets or wherever we met, I was minding my business. I may have signaled you, but you could have not come. You're the one that made the move. You're the one that asked me on a date. You are responsible for making sure that I feel safe, secure, and comfortable. But you went out of your way to play the fool and try and act like you don't know that you checking out other women doesn't feel good to me. You're acting like you don't know that not complimenting me doesn't feel good to me. You're acting like you don't know that not acting like a gentleman doesn't feel good to me. Let's go, church. Unless a seed falls to the ground and dies, it can bear no fruit. All of us want fruit, but we don't want our seed to die. We don't want the ugly piece of him walking away, being sulky, not wanting to talk to you, maybe even ghosting you for 6 weeks. But what he will know in his deep subconsciousness and consciousness is when I'm dealing with her, I come with high investment, high effort, or I get nothing. And guess what? For masculine energy man, now you're a challenge. And guess what every masculine energy man wants from a woman that he will ultimately commit to? A challenge. And if he does not have the wherewithal, if he does not have the capacity, we're just going to let that man go, okay? Because we do not live in scarcity, we live in abundance. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Yes. Amen. Hallelujah. You know, when a man is giving you bare minimum, that's the next point. When he's giving you bare minimum, he knows it's bare minimum. He is not confused about bare minimum. He knows what it takes to charm a lady, win a lady, make her feel special. But he is giving bare minimum and consciously doing it because he has somehow excluded you. Maybe it's the way you were behaving. Maybe you were too easy. Maybe you are the one that approached him. You know, maybe you threw yourself at him like most women do, not black swans. Of course, none of you would do that because you're just too amazing. But maybe you threw yourself at him or whatever. And he's decided that I'm going to give her the bare minimum. Call her when I want to. Speak to her when I want to. Show up when I want to. Leave dates up in the air. You know, everything is going to be on my terms. I don't need to meet her need. He knows he's doing bare minimum. Never let a man who's giving you bare minimum make you think that he doesn't know. Okay? And guess what we do? Guess what we do when a man gives us bare minimum? When he's giving us bare minimum, we don't ask for more. I would love it if you would call me some more 5 times a day. Now we can ask for more when we're in an exclusive relationship. And he has asked us to be his girlfriend. Or he has asked us to be his fiance, which is definitely so much more better for a black swan, don't you think? A fiance. Doesn't that sound nice? Doesn't that ring good to your ears? A fiance. Say it after me, fiance. But okay, maybe you're not ready to be a fiance. Maybe you just want to be a girlfriend. Until he makes some kind of formal commitment to you of some sort, you don't ask for anything. You watch what he's bringing. Why does he think you're going to take bare minimum? Because 95% of women will take bare minimum because they're just so desperate for a man. Okay? I hate that something. Right? That's not you. You're a black swan. You're 1 in a million. This channel is not for the average woman. It's for the woman who is 1 in a million. Rare. Exquisite. If that's you, you're going to have to school him. You're going to have to educate him. That you don't accept bare minimum. No, we do not. And so all we do is decline that offer kindly. Thank you so much for inviting me to do A. I'm unavailable, but I wish you all the best. Okay? Because trust me. So I have this client and she was like, oh, Chengi, this guy, I really like him. And, he keeps inviting me to crappy dates. He just won't invest. And I'm feeling like he just thinks I'm like some cheap date. I said to her, well, be very polite. Hello, Johnny. How are you doing? When he does get in touch with you, I am well, thank you. I hope you're well. And be very friendly and be very warm, because we're always warm and friendly, darlings. Okay? Black swans don't show rage. Okay? If there is a need for it, then we will show it. Righteous rage or annoyance. But we're always very calm, very composed, very demure, very mindful. Can I get an amen? Okay. So then I said, be very sweet, be very nice when he speaks to you. And then when he asks you for a crappy date, guess what you're going to say? I would love to, but I'm unavailable. You never tell him that you're unavailable for that date. Because guess what? He's going to go into his stupid little head and tell himself, these women, all they want is money. They just want my money. They want my money. They want my things. They just all gold diggers. They just want a man to... We don't participate, darling. We don't participate in that way of thinking or that kind of behavior. So you won't tell him why. You're just unavailable. And so she did this twice. And then the third time, he actually invited her out to a most beautiful planned date. He put in the effort and he put in the investment. And from that day till now, he only ever invites her to high quality, high thought out, beautiful dates. Isn't Mama Swan a genius? Yes, she is. And the core reason for all of this, because I'm done, so you can ask me questions. The core understanding, the base understanding, the base belief, okay? The base belief is to understand that men are not dumb. If you can eradicate that foolishness from your head, if you can actually see men as smart, focused, know what they want, are figuring out a way to get it cheaply and with minimal effort, you're going to win. Because you can stay in your feminine. You don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to make them think, gotcha, caught ya, trying to play me. We don't need to do that. We're ladies. Okay? We just sit in our beautiful thrones and exist in our majesty. How does that feel? If you can't do that, if you have to let a man know that you got him, you caught him being funny with you, baby, you're not Black Swan status. Okay? You're not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready to deal with grown men. You're not ready to deal with a masculine man. So what I've shared with you today is golden. Golden. Okay? It's golden. And I felt like I wanted to give you some true treasure today. Now, ask me any questions, my darlings, because I'm not going to try and keep you too long. Consequences are a part of life. Can I get an amen? Yes, Jeanette. Yes. Hey, Mama Swan. I've missed you in the Instagram lives. How are you, beautiful? Greetings from the Caribbean. I love you. Short videos on YouTube. Oh, greetings to you. I'm Roxberry. Oh, thank you so much. Love you too. I was just recovering. And this applies to women in relationships too, by the way. It's not just about dating. Checkmate. Yes. Because we're always winning. Always winning. You can do that with your husband. All of us, God, I can't even say that. Men play dumb. I know. Just the manipulative, stupid ones. Or the ones that don't want us. They play dumb, yeah. Oh dear, we're getting into that red pill foolishness. So I'm going to ignore you because I don't feel like you're actually wanting to have a real conversation. So we're going to let you go. Okay, let's see. You see what I did there, girls? We don't engage with terrorists. We don't negotiate with terrorists. We don't engage with foolish men, okay? It's a waste of your spiritual energy and time, okay? We're only going to deal with questions that make sense. If you tell a man aggressively that you don't want to go on a date, is that okay? It's never okay, no. A feminine woman, aggression, no. 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 Never. It is not okay. Hey, Rachel. I'm still waiting for my pictures, darling. And you know what I'm talking about. No. Never, ever. Right. Any more questions before I go, my darlings? Still looking. A woman that speaks to men aggressively is triggering his fight mechanism. Everything that you do as a woman triggers something in a man. Everything he does triggers something in a woman. Okay, so as a woman, if there's a post I did recently, if you speak to the king, you're going to get the king speak back to you and behave. If you speak to the fool, you're going to get the fool speak back to you. Men in their masculine energy are competitive, controlling, and conquering. If any woman approaches a man who is masculine with aggression, that aggression is only ever used to conquer. Okay? We use aggression to conquer. That's masculine energy. If you go towards a man with aggression, guess what the masculine response is? Is to face aggression with aggression. Boom, boom, boom. We get nowhere. There isn't a masculine man that responds to aggression from a woman. We don't need to be aggressive, because if you do what I'm saying, he's going to get it. He has nothing to fight. He can't call you stupid. He can't call you dumb. He can't call you anything. He just has to realize, oops, I made a mistake, and the consequences of that mistake is that the date I was planning on having, I'm not going to have it. The consequences of that mistake is the sex I was planning on having, I'm not going to have it. The consequences of making that mistake means I'm not going to receive whatever it is I wanted. Now he understands that good behavior gets him the goodies. Bad behavior gets your absence. Why are we being aggressive? Do you really want to take a man on? Because guess what? If you go into aggression with a man, he will hurt your feelings and feel no way about it, because he will turn off his protector and provider instinct. If you want a man to cherish you, respect him. If you want a man to value you and respect you, respect yourself. Separate yourself. Move away. Because that's the prize, your presence. Okay? So if you want to win with masculine men and you have an aggression problem, an anger problem, you attack everything head on, I applaud you in business. I applaud you as an athlete. I applaud you in the world when we're trying to penetrate and get things done as women. You need that. You need that aggression. You need that go-getter. In relationships with men, if you want harmony, if you want to be cherished, if you want to, you want that cherishing, you want that respect, never meet anything he does with aggression. You can never meet a man at the level of his aggression unless you can physically stand toe to toe with him and physically wrestle him to the ground. Okay? Unless you are that girl who's a badass and can beat a man down, I wouldn't go down that route. Because when men get aggressive, conflict and violence is usually about to happen. The fact that he can't hit you if he's been raised right makes you a very unsafe person, because he can't be controlling. Okay? Now, don't get triggered by controlling, okay? It's just masculine energy ability to control himself, his life, his movements, and to control the environment around his woman so she can be safe. If he can't have a degree of control, he can't protect you. If he can't have a degree of control, he can't keep you safe. And so you are a bad situation. You are a hazard to him. Because when men feel unsafe, they respond a certain way. When we feel unsafe, we go inside our bodies and we're like, I don't want to play. Okay? When men feel unsafe, they come out of their bodies and they fight. Are you prepared to go to do hand-to-hand combat? Because I'm 5'2" and I'm cute and I'm not trying to get my face rearranged. Okay? So you play on your turf. If you can bring a whole giant of a man. You can make a 10-foot man become that 5-year-old boy if you learn how to master your feminine energy. You can make men go to war, kill each other, if you master your feminine energy. So why on earth would you want to be in your masculine where you are inferior? You're inferior there. You don't even have the hormonal cocktail. Men have testosterone running through their body 24/7, 365 days of the year. You only get it 1 week of the month, only so that your other hormones can regulate. What are you trying to do? Put that away, baby. We want a soft life. We want a soft existence, okay? All right? We don't need to do that. If you don't want to go on a date with a gentleman, you say, I'm so sorry, I'm unavailable. Thank you for the offer, but I don't have the romantic interest in you to go on a date. Okay? Simple. You get to keep your pretty. Okay? I hope that answers your question, my darling. If the majority of men expect 95% of women to be easy, and most men have little to offer, how to be chosen by what? You've just answered your own question. If 95% of women are easy and you're not, then only the men that are prepared to climb the mountain will make it anyway. Okay, so if you know that I'm not easy, and a woman that's not easy, a man can tell very quickly in the whole interaction. Okay, if you've got my dating playbook and you've done any of my courses, you will know that your energy, aura, everything just lets a man know that that would be a no. You know, I speak to so many men. Men are my friends. They've always been my friends. The reason I'm so good with male psychology is because girls didn't want to be my friend in school. So boys have been my friends since I was a little girl. And I had one bestie, one female friend, but boys have always been my friends. So I know boys. I know men. And, one of the guys, I remember I met him and he was like, Chengi, if a man meets you, he just knows he has to behave. He's got to come through because you're not that girl. Okay. I don't go around with this thing, I'm not that girl. When you feel a certain way about yourself and you have value and you have self-love, there's something about your aura, your energy, your substance that just tells a man not here, not now, and not with her. Okay? Men know. Okay? So if you're doing the right things internally and you worked on your stuff and worked on your wounds and you are a black swan in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit, in your soul, men are going to bring that. But let's say they try it. They're not going to get past the first hurdle. A black swan is inaccessible. I don't know how many times I need to say this. You're not accessible to everyone. Not everyone, even my friends. I don't have a lot of friends. You can't just be my friend. access to me as a person is just hard. You have to have a pure heart. You have to be a woman of integrity. You have to love God. You've got to be a certain type of vibration to be my friend. And when I call you friend, I'm investing in you. I am loving on you. I am giving you my best, so I expect the best. You as a woman, as a black swan, in every area of your life, you should not be easily accessible. Even in the academy, you can't access me to coach you. I'm not easily accessible. You can't just book me, right? That's how a person who values themselves, you can't just be accessible. So that's part one, okay? Part two is you're going to shine like a diamond in the sky. Because so many women are low value, so many women will play this game, so many women will go along with it. You know, I really didn't like where he was taking me, but I went along because I didn't want him to feel uncomfortable. So many women will, you know, he was looking at other women and I just ignored it. So I just ignored it. And then I said to him, you know, I don't like it when you're looking at other women. So many women are so desperate. So when you are the girl who's not desperate, of course, only a worthy man. You're only going to attract worthy men. You're only going to choose worthy men, even when you attract unworthy men, because we attract everybody, but it's who we choose, right? You're only going to choose a worthy man, because the obstacles, the things, and these are not conscious obstacles to make a man go away, but to be with you, because you work on yourself. You are high value. Like I've always said, if you're my man, you are not going to leave my life and you're not 10 times better than when I met you. There's no way. There's no way you could be my boyfriend, my husband, my fiance, and you're worse off than when I met you. It's not possible, because I'm a wife. I multiply, I create, I make a man better than he ever was. So why am I giving that away for free to a guy who can't be bothered to put in effort, who sees me as some kind of option? Right? So you've got to think about yourself that way. You can't just be a woman that gives nothing, brings nothing to the table. You have no value at all, and you want a man to perform at a high level. You have to be a high level woman. You have to be a high status woman. You have to be a high worth woman. You got to be somebody who brings so much value into a man's life that you have the right to be you. And so it's not hard. It's not hard to get quality men when you're a quality woman. Your standards, your boundaries, everything I teach you here. Got it? Good. Wisdom, a woman preserving their emotional and spiritual energy is strong. Not everyone can do that. Yeah, you gotta love yourself. I think my question is glitched out recent. Okay, let's hope we see it. How do you go from feminine woman to a black swan in your relationship? Well, you need to know, first and foremost, a black swan is a feminine woman. So I don't understand the question. Do you want to rephrase it? A black swan is the ultimate feminine woman. But if you're asking me how you change dynamics in your relationship, that's a different question. Please ask it again for me so I don't answer the wrong question. Xavier as Graham. So I'm seeing this guy. He pursued, I'm thinking that's what, he pursued me first. Good. Cool. He prefers us meeting in person and hates texting and says I must call him rather, since he's never really on his phone. Everyone knows him for this. So he pursued you. He prefers meeting in person. That's important. That's good. That's good. I'm getting a green flag. Hates texting and says you must call him rather. So he likes to meet in person, but he wants you to call him. Correct? Why does he want you to call him? It's the most ridiculous thing. He hates texting. It's the most ridiculous thing. It all is just very ridiculous. What he wants to see you in person, he has to make contact and arrange a date. So what is he expecting, that you're going to chase him back? I don't have time for that. He needs to be the masculine and pursue. If he's not going to be the masculine and pursue, you need to keep that one moving. He can join the back of the queue. What if all of a sudden I change this behavior describing, isn't he going to have doubts about me? Well, it depends on your situation. Because why would you just suddenly change? We're talking about being violated. We're talking about being disrespected. We're talking about a man doing something that you know, that he knows is unacceptable, unloving, and cherishing. If he does that, and instead of yelling, screaming, and being aggressive, you actually remove yourself from the equation, of course he's going to know that you've changed. But why are you worried that he'll have doubts about you? This is the problem, okay, darlings? Okay. Let me just stop here for 2 seconds. A low value, I'm not saying that's who you are. A low value woman has low self-esteem and low self-worth, and she is more interested in how he feels about her. It's how you feel about him, because you're the feminine, you're the feeling one. Or you're the masculine. A man should be worried about how you feel about him, because you need to feel good to do good. Okay? Maybe you missed that piece. The feminine woman has to feel good to be activated to do good. So if I am so focused on how he feels about me, who's taking care of how I feel? I'm in charge of what I feel. And if what you're doing makes me feel hurt, diminished, upset, annoyed, irritated, that's the only feeling that matters in this equation. Now, if you want to start doubting me because I remove myself from a situation and I give consequences for a situation that you created, and then I make your doubt my preoccupation, then darling, you are not in a high value relationship, because you're not moving like a high value woman. You're not moving in your feminine. A feminine woman falls in love with a man who makes her feel good. When we are in our trauma, we fall in love with the men we have to prove ourselves to. We fall in love with the men we have to win over. We fall in love with the men that we have to try and get them to like us. No, darling. A feminine woman allows a man to win her heart, to win her affections. This is why if you're dating with your eyes, oh, he's so cute, he's got 6 packs, so gorgeous, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting to find a man attractive, so please do not litter my comments with foolishness. You're allowed to find a man attractive. The point I'm making is, he's attractive enough. Now, has he earned the right? Has he built attraction emotionally with you? Does he make you feel safe? Does he make you feel comfortable? Because if we don't have safety and comfort and cherishing at the foundation, you don't have a relationship. A woman cannot show up for a man at her very best. She cannot show up for a man at her utmost, most playful, flirtatious, loving, nurturing version of herself if she does not feel safe, secure, and comfortable. And if a man is failing at foundational things, and we're sticking around because we'd rather have somebody rather than nobody, darling, I will see you on the other side of divorce. Because even if you trick that guy to marry you, you are just signing yourself up to go into prison, because he's not going to do any better. So this is why I have a hard time with women who are like, won't he think that I'm being funny if I do that? Don't care what he thinks. He shouldn't have done that. Why is he treating you that way? Why is he mistreating you? Why is he abusing you? Why is he doing it? Why is he looking at other women? Why? I don't care what he thinks. I want him to rethink. That's all we're trying to do. Rethink. Now, back to you, darling. Okay, because I was just sharing in general. Back to you. Book a complimentary call. It's free. Just comment help on any of my reels and a link will be sent to you. Book a complimentary call. Talk to my coaches. Tell them your scenario and then they can help you and give you the right strategy for your situation. It's one free call. Don't get excited. It's one free call. Make the most of it. Okay? Because your situation might need a different application. Okay? Depending on where you've been, what's been going on in your relationship. Is this ongoing? How long have you been in this relationship? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so everything I say is general, but if you want something specific, darling, sweetie, then just book a complimentary call. Love you. True, I haven't slept with a man since my ex-husband. Many men with girlfriends and husbands attempt to hit on me. Okay. I'm assuming wives. I remain good friends with married men and respect their wives. Okay. Good, good. Proud of you. RDM Victory, darling. How to deal with someone who breaks communication for a day or two every week. We are in the conversation and getting to know one another phase. I would say observe and pick up patterns. Is it a particular day of the week? Is it particular days of the week, or is it random? Because if it's particular days of the week, then you can say, oh, I noticed that you tend to, you're not available on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Is there anything I need to know? Right? And you say that casually to find out. But if it's random, and he's sometimes disappears, sometimes reappears, he's dating other people and he's busy with them. Okay? So it's just that's what's up. I hope that helps. So you were getting to know him. That's part of the data. It's part of the data collection. And also getting to know yourself. How does that communication feel in your body? How does it feel to be communicating with a man that sometimes is in, sometimes is out, sometimes is... How does that feel? Baby girls, darlings, listen to Mama Swan. The most important data for the feminine woman is how she feels about things. So from this question, I'm assuming you don't feel good. So that shouldn't tell you, how do I change this guy to meet this need? But it's about you taking some data and saying, okay, I have a core need, and my need is for daily communication. I have a core need to feel seen, to feel heard, to feel known. I have this need to be connected daily. So this guy, because I've observed over 3 months, I've seen that he has a pattern of disappearing, appearing. That's not going to work for how I am personally wired and how my feelings need to be cherished. So now that's data for you. So you can just let him go. Because when he's at rest without your request, without you nagging, without you bothering, he gives random and sporadic. So he's not going to give less. He's not going to give more. He's only you're just teaching him what he can get away with. So whilst you are seeing his patterns and seeing him, he knows, okay, I can get away with this. I can get away with this. But you don't want to ask him for more because you're not entitled to that. He hasn't made a commitment to you. So that's data. Take that honest data. When we're gathering data in dating, it's not just, I'm checking for red flags, I'm checking for green flags, I'm checking for white flags. I'm checking for how I feel. Because a guy can green flag you, but he doesn't make you feel safe. He doesn't make you feel comfortable. He doesn't make you feel cherished. He doesn't make you feel seen. He doesn't make you feel heard. He doesn't make you feel understood. That's important. If we're going to build a life with someone, those things are important, because guess what happens? I was talking to my cabbie the other day, and I said to him, you know, men, they think to themselves, oh, my wife just left me she just left me because she wasn't happy. I was like, no one leaves because they're not happy. They leave because there is an unmet need. And he was telling me that his wife, you know, she wants verbal affection. He never tells her he loves her. He never tells her she's beautiful, and he likes to show her instead. Perfectly understandable. That's the masculine, right? The masculine would rather show than tell, okay? So he shows her, he'll take her out, he'll buy flowers, but he just can't seem to bring himself to say. And I had to let him know that you're meeting a need for your wife that's not a need. Like, you're meeting a want. You're meeting your own need by doing these things, by cooking, by doing the dishes. I cook for her, and I'll do these things for her, and I'll do that for her, but I just can't bring myself to say it. So I was like, okay, here's the thing. You will do all of that for her, and she'll still leave you, because the problem is she has an unmet need in the area of her emotions. She needs to hear you say it to meet the need. She's already told you how to meet the need, but you're not paying attention to the fact that she has a need. You've got to pay attention to unmet needs. This is not about you saying it. This is about that need. She needs validation. She needs affirmation. And she needs it in the form, she needs it verbally. So you are doing all of these things that are totally unnecessary. I'm sure she's happy to do all the cooking. She's a stay-at-home wife, mother. That's her full-time job, to look after the family. I'm sure she appreciates you helping, and I'm sure she appreciates you helping her with all these things. Are fantastic, but you're still not meeting the need. The need is this, and after 5 years of that need not being met, 10 years of that need not being met, 20 years of that, she's gonna walk away, because she's existing in this dynamic with an unmet need. He got it. He was like light bulb. He was like, oh my God, I didn't see that. Okay, because I'm always talking to men. The point I'm making is, if you as a woman are conscious and aware, and this is what we do with the soulmate attraction system course, we bring into your consciousness so that you know your core needs. Once you know your core needs as a woman, and a man could be fantastic, but he's just not able to meet that need. If you're that woman who needs to be affirmed, you need constant reassurance, and you need a man to verbally say it. You could be with a guy that provides, protects, and does nice things for you, and buys you gifts, and takes you everywhere in the world, and lavishes you with everything. But if that need is not met, eventually we're going to have a problem within the long-term relationship. Okay? That's why it's so important to collect data, not from a masculine position. The masculine has to collect data because the masculine interviews the feminine for a place in his life. The masculine interviews the feminine for a role in his beautiful life. Okay, he creates an amazing life. He sacrifices, he focuses, he breaks sweat to create an amazing life. And then he's interviewing for partners. So he's looking outwardly. Is she respectful? Is she sound? Is she calm? Is she no? He's looking at the externalities, the full. He's not looking in himself and saying, how do I feel about that? Okay, because he's masculine. He's gonna feel good when you bring all these things. But for us women, we're like, bring the money, bring the that, bring the that. But no. We got to feel good. We got to feel good to do good. We got to feel good to be great wives. We got to feel good to stay in a marriage. Okay? We got to feel good. If you're in your feminine, so that's data. Ask yourself, he disappears every 2, check the patterns, put it in your journal. But on top of that, how do I feel? And if he is opening up and creating space and holding space of vulnerability and intimacy, then you can bring it up. You have every right to, I'm enjoying getting to know you. Just need you to know, I feel unsafe when you disappear. I feel unseen when you disappear. You don't have to do anything about it. I just want you to know that's how I feel about it. But you have to make sure that he has opened the door for that level of vulnerability. Never bring vulnerability to a man when he hasn't opened the door for it, because he's going to feel overwhelmed. Okay? I hope that helps, my darling. Most guys ask you to call them when exchanging numbers. Is that them playing dumb or trying to win, or are they just unaware or what they are used to? So it's a fear. When a man exchanges numbers and say, call me, a lot of men are not in their masculine. Okay? What that means is they are very insecure, in survival mode, and they fear rejection. Like I always say, men fear rejection more than we do. I know we think we fear rejection, but they fear it more than we do, especially low vibrational men. Okay? What he wants to do when he says, call me, is number one, is become culturally acceptable. Feminism said, hey, put the ball in our court. We've got a whole app. We've got a whole feminist app, Bumble. Okay, let the woman speak first, because she will feel violated if you behave like a man and penetrate her shield, you know. So we have this whole situation in the world telling men, you know, wait for the woman to approach you first, to make the first move so you would know. Changing dynamics. So if he's in his feminine and he's bought into the whole narrative, he's really trying to be a gentleman and say, okay, if you call me, then I know you're interested, and then we can move forward. It's a simple fix. You just say to him, I prefer it and I love it when a man makes the first call. Okay, that's it. It's not a big deal. We don't have to kind of, you know, get into it, but you can. Some are playing dumb, okay, but by and large, masculine men will approach. They will make the first move, because that's part of how they build attraction for you. That's part of the attraction matrix for them. So they will call you. But if you're seeing that, we're talking about a man who's more in his feminine, a man who's been conditioned to be more in his feminine, and all we have to do is say, hey. Say, you know, if he says, oh yeah, call me, you'd be like, I really find it a turn on when the man calls first. Okay? If he's smart, he's gonna get it. If he's dumb, well, keep it moving. We don't want dumb men in our lives now, do we? No, we do not. I hope that answers that question, darling. You are so welcome. Hey, I'm trying to start dating, but it seems like men aren't noticing me. Okay, I'm just going to assume you mean you're putting yourself out there. You're putting yourself out there and you're not getting bites. Men are not biting, okay? That's an easy fix, okay? But if you mean you're going on dates and you're kind of being forgotten, please clarify that for me, Miriam, so that I can answer it properly. If you're like, look, I go on dates and I'm just like easily forgotten, then yeah, it's a two-pronged situation. But let's assume you're like saying to yourself, I'm ready to date, I'm ready to put myself out there. The reason why you're not being noticed is because you don't look right. There's something wrong with your style. Okay. This is not just your problem. This with your style, that's one, but with your energy. If you've been hiding, you said you're trying, so I'm assuming you've been hiding. You've been in hiding energy. You've been locked behind something, maybe a low self-esteem, a low self-worth. I'm not speaking into you. I'm just speaking in general. You know, you didn't feel sure. You didn't feel safe. You are still energetically in hiding, okay? And when we're energetically in hiding, we create a style signature, okay, that hides us. Men notice with their eyes. So you probably need to wear a bit more color. You have to get a style signature, right? There has to be, you know, everybody who knows me knows how I dress. Okay, they know me because I wear color, they know me because of my hair, they know me because of the wear. I have a style signature. You can tell that's Chengi from anywhere. Okay, you need to develop a style signature, and that style signature has to be truly authentic to who you are. And please be very careful, because your style signature is going to signal the man that you want. Okay, the man I want, the man I'm interested in, the men I deal with, they like all of this. Okay? They like it. I want them to like it because this is authentically me. I am this girl. And I'm not changing for anybody. I am this girl. So I have developed my style around my authentic self and to attract the caliber of man that I want to deal with. So that's the two-pronged attack. Who do you want to attract? Figure that out. So this is why we have the Soulmate Attraction System course for this. So we can really put your pieces together. If you want to do that, you need to come and help, okay? And the complimentary call will be sent to you and your journey will be defined for you. But what you need to do is put the pieces together. You know, what kind of relationship are you after? Are you dating for marriage? Are you dating for experience? Are you Judy dating? Why are you dating? Why are you out here? And if it's marriage, then how am I going to curate my look offline, online to attract a husband rather than a player or a joker? Okay, so we need to put some thought into the man that we want, but never being inauthentic. Okay, when I see girls with natural hair and they got the big fro or they got the natural beautiful style, I love that. It's just not me. Okay. And I know that if I try to make that me, I would attract the guy I'm not interested in. You know, I went on a date with this guy once. Great guy. I knew I wasn't vibing. We weren't feeling it, but I was doing some research. Okay. I do that now and again. So he had locks and he was very kind of down to earth kind of guy, good looking, all these things. So we're on, I think, our second date, and he says, "Oh, can I see a picture of you with your natural hair?" I was like, ding, 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 ding. Okay. I was mortified. But I already knew you're not the guy I choose. And that's not to do with your locks. I date guys with locks. I actually think they're quite nice, but they like all of this. They're for it, right? It wasn't because of the locks, but I knew before I even went on a second date that I didn't like him. He's just not my guy. Okay, so you have to be careful. You have to make sure that your style attracts the guy and that you have a vibrant style. When I say vibrant, it doesn't have to be color. It has to be you. When you walk into the room, I always say, they don't have to like you, they don't have to hate you, but they must never ignore you. And if you're being ignored, we've got to fix the energy. So that's the Energy Mastery Masterclass. We've got to fix that energy. We've got to heal some wounds. We got to look at some of the ways and behaviors that we have. Sometimes we're wallflowers and we walk into the room and we're looking for the quickest place to hide. We're not signaling. So maybe they're noticing us, but we're not noticing them. Okay, so many dynamics to that. So you want to do the Flood and Date Masterclass. You want to do the dating playbook. You want to book a call and speak to our style concierge, Unique, who knows how to make you look like amazing. Okay, so that's that for you, my darling. Okay. I'm maintaining a standard, but due to weight gain, I am aware that men who would approach me aren't. I've started a health journey, taken men approach though. I don't understand that part. What to do? Thank you. Okay, so I don't know how much weight you've gained, but how men work is they don't kind of work in terms of she's put on 2 pounds, she's fat, or she's put on, a dress size, she's fat. Men don't really, I know we think that's what they do because we put on 2 pounds and we feel like we're like, oh, so big. So I don't know how much weight gain you've put on, but men pretty much will play with a 10-pound situation. Men won't really notice a 2 dress size growth. It's not that they're not kind of looking at the scale for you. But here's what does happen. And I'm not speaking for all men. There are men who are pedantic, and if you put on a pound, they're going to notice, you know. But they're quite rare. Men expect women's weight to fluctuate because they understand that we have hormones, and they understand that we're not always going to be the same size. I fluctuate from being super skinny to being super thick, you know, and that can happen in 1 month. And, you know, as I've gotten older, I've definitely gained more weight. But still, I think because I do a lot of weight training, I'm heavier, but it hasn't changed the kinds of men that I attract, because I've put on probably about, in the last 10 years, about 20 pounds, right? So that's quite a lot of weight, but it's not actually changed the men that I can attract. And here's why. Because I don't let it change how I feel about myself. A lot of the stuff that we project onto men, oh, no, I don't attract the men. That's, you've changed how you feel about yourself. And I almost felt that, and a lot of the weight came when I started perimenopause and I turned 40. As everybody knows, when you're in perimenopause, you're gaining weight. You know, I'm keeping my weight in check by lifting. But I do remember going through a phase where I was like, oh my God, I'm not sexy anymore. I'm not hot anymore. I'm not desired anymore. And then I kind of decided to observe, and I still stop traffic the same way. I still have men beeping. I still have men behaving exactly the same way they did when I was thinner. And then I realized that it's not about the men. It's just how I feel about myself has changed. I didn't love myself anymore. I didn't appreciate my body anymore. I didn't feel I was beautiful anymore. And when you feel beautiful, it doesn't matter what size you are. There is an energy field around you. There is a confidence. There's a sexiness around you that would make the same caliber of men want you. Now, if you have, and this goes both ways. Sometimes we lose so much weight, we become unrecognizable. And some of us, it doesn't suit us to be that skinny, okay? And some of us put on so much weight that we actually change the way we look completely. Those are big moves, and yeah, let's work on bringing ourselves back to the general ballpark, okay? Not just to look good, not just for men, even though it matters, but to feel good about ourselves. If it's not that kind of weight, then I suspect it's got more to do with how you feel about yourself. I hope I'm not late for an appointment, because no, okay, I'm not. I just got a notification, so I was thinking, oh no, I hope I haven't missed. I hope that helps you, darling. So let's maybe do some internal work. Let's do some internal work. Get that complimentary call, and let's see how we can help guide you on your journey on a 1-to-1 and see what we're working with, because obviously I can't. Women need predictability and emotional safety, 100%. It's the foundation for a healthy relationship. If you don't have that, you'll have loads of fun, you'll have crazy sex, but you won't have a relationship that can survive long term. If you feel bad as you let him go for disrespecting you when you're still getting to know each other, does this call for therapy or simple reflection? It's okay. It depends how bad you feel. If it feels horrible, if it feels like you're dying, if it feels like you are dying, you need therapy. But if it feels sad, I really liked him, then you can just reflect on that. Because what that tells me, a healthy woman is always going to feel a kind of way about losing a man she was getting to know, right? I would be worried if you felt nothing. Honestly, I would be like, okay, she is numbing, and that's a trauma response. You know, if you feel nothing when you have to let somebody go, we need therapy. You have to feel something, because we're all still human. We still have hearts, and it tells me that your heart is still soft. It tells me that your heart is still open. So feeling something is welcome. You should welcome that emotion, sit in that emotion, figure out what that emotion is, and honor it, welcome it. Say, you know what, sadness, you're welcome here. Tell me what you need from me. Welcome the feeling and sit with it. And if you want to cry about it, cry about it. If you want to, feel bad about it. I think that's fine. But if you're honestly like obsessive, you can't get him off your mind, you're grieving, then that is a trauma response. That's a wound pre-existing to him, and all that's happened is that you letting him go has triggered that wound. So I would go for therapy. We should all be in therapy anyway, okay? In general, it's like maintenance, okay? But I would definitely discuss it with your therapist, or I would book some therapy sessions just to make sure. But it's the depth of the struggle, okay? I don't think we should make ourselves feel like we're somehow damaged when we don't. Coach Nadine is laughing about Bumble. Yeah, Bumble is. If you're a black swan, you're not on Bumble. Let's just put it that way. And if you are on Bumble, it's because you've not been hanging around Mama Swan long enough. You're so welcome, Mariam. I'm just working my way down the questions. Rachel, my darling Rachel. It's so true. I'm a plus size girl and I get a good amount of attention. I don't know what those other words are, but yes, Rachel is a siren. The men be running, but Rachel's just gorgeous, and Rachel loves herself, and beautiful girl. Interesting point, weight gain and our own projections taken. Men keep approaching. I have more charisma and vitality now, but I have gained 26k and it's noticeable. That's okay, baby girl. You told me that you are on a journey to health. Honor that, but never disqualify yourself. You know, I'm going to say something to you, and this is more from a spiritual perspective. Wherever love wants to meet me, at 26k overweight, underweight, whatever. And if I'm open and available to love at whatever weight, that's the kind of love that was meant for me. So many of us are waiting to get perfect, waiting to get it together. The only thing you're behind needs to be waiting for is finishing your soulmate attraction system course. Taking that journey to be healthier and learning how to communicate, learning how to be high value, learning how to love yourself. Then you're like, okay, I'm waiting for these things to be settled in my soul, then I'm going to go. But if it's things like I'm waiting to have more money, I'm waiting to be more settled, I'm waiting to have, to be thinner, to put on weight, to have more muscle, to be taller, to be shorter, to be browner, to be whatever. If you are waiting for something external to happen rather than something internal to happen, you are self-sabotaging your love life. Okay, darling, I'm so sorry. Dat Global, let's see. Question. Let's see. Malin Katerina. Malin Katerina. Hey, have you noticed racial differences in masculinity? I'm in the US and I notice black men sometimes seem more unsure, insecure. Could be due to racial dynamics. Yeah. I'm just working out how much hate I should prepare for. Due to slavery, the Black American man was feminized, and the Black American woman was masculinized. So America has a very unique set of struggles. When I talk about masculine energy and what a woman should expect from a masculine man, my comments are littered with mainly, not all, mainly Black American men completely upset because masculinity is a foreign concept, not to all, but to a lot of them, because they were broken through slavery and the legacy of slavery in such a way that they had to be submissive. And the Black woman was broken in such a way that she had to be strong and become the pillar, the masculine in the society. We have to understand that this is very recent. Slavery wasn't like 2,000 years ago. It's quite recent. So it's going to take generations for that to change. When I was in the US, I observed this quite a lot. There's a lot of residue in the dating market in the US, a lot of residue from the effects of slavery. For those of us who come more from an African perspective, we were colonized. So there's a specific trauma around that, and many of us are still working it out. So yes, there is a difference. You are going to get more masculinity in a white American man because he was empowered to be the head and the leader, and he's empowered to be such. So you're going to get more masculine energy, which is why a lot of Black women are going for white men or moving to white men. It is natural that they're more masculine. Okay, masculinity coming from a place of love, abundance, giving, cherishing, protecting, and caring, because he is the most protected person within the US world. He has, I'm not saying all, there are a lot of dynamics. I'm blanket sweeping here. But you are going to get more masculine energy in an African man, for instance, in a Black African man, than you're going to do over here in the Western world. So yes, is the answer to your question. It's not something we're going to fix overnight. But what I did find in my time when I was there for quite a while is, regardless of the culture and the leaning of the man, if the woman is able to maintain and hold femininity, he will find his way to the masculine. It's just that it's a long, painful road. Okay, so for any man anywhere in the world, Australia is very divided. You get a lot of feminine men in Australia, a lot. Okay, I have clients from all over the world. My first clients were Arabs when I first started my practice. Dubai, Saudi Arabia, they were my main clients. Then Australia, then England. So I have worked, I get calls from Hong Kong, I get calls from Asia, I get calls from everywhere in the world, okay? Fundamentally, what I'm going to say is that it doesn't matter. It matters, the dynamics in that country, that city, that nation, only to this extent of what is it going to take the woman, right? Because I found if I was very feminine, when I was dealing with a Black American man, for instance, he would soften. He would soften and he would be more cherishing and he would step more proudly into his masculine. But I needed to be in my feminine. I was not, because I was confused for being Black American as well, because I don't talk much in my videos at all. So they just assumed I was a Black American woman. When I spoke to them, and this is another struggle that my Black American sisters have to deal with. There's this instant, pushback, but there's a lot is required of women in certain cultures to really hold that feminine space and be really calm, really loving. So even in my comment section with all my trolls, some of them are my besties now. They'll still troll the comments and then they'll talk to me in the DMs. And we kind of have this thing where I let them do their thing. But it does take, a feminine woman can, if she can hold her position, which is very hard because men who are not masculine present a lot of danger to the feminine woman. They don't know how to hold position for a woman to feel feminine. So she really has to be anchored within herself. Like, I really needed to be really anchored within my own identity. Yes, you're white, so more complicated. Yeah. It's really interesting. The United States is a very interesting place and space for me. I was mainly in the East Coast. I really do want to travel some more. I want to go to the South. I want to go to different parts of America because I find it very interesting. Different people. It's one nation but very different. So I'm speaking from my experience online. I'm speaking from what I saw in the East Coast, and there are a lot of things that I saw with my own eyes and dynamics and things that I saw. Where I was, when I was in New Hampshire, I did not meet a black man who was not with a white woman. Not one. In that particular setup where I was. Every black man I met was with a white woman. So I don't know what part of the US you're in, but there are certain parts, and I went out for a night out and I only saw black men with white women. So I get that and I was in Boston, then New Hampshire, I get that a white woman is going to do so much better with black men in the East Coast. But I hear it's different in the South. So I'm going to be in the South. Next time I come to the US, I'm probably going to be in the South. Cali. Okay, I was in Cali, but I wasn't there long enough to observe. It's a mix. Okay. I'm assuming you like black men. I heard similar issues in the UK, dark-skinned ladies versus strange phenomena. I consider myself a dark-skinned girl. Okay. Yeah, I think you have to be in the right part of the US. And I think, when we're dating cross-racially, that's another reel. Maybe I should do that some other time. But when we're dating cross-racially, we definitely need to signal very differently. And maybe I'll do a video on that. I meant to do one, but maybe I will. But I just don't want the backlash, but maybe I'll do that. But yeah, it's probably, you have to signal, if you're a black woman wanting to date a white guy, you have to actually be way more assertive. Not aggressive, assertive. You're going to have to come forward more. So, because then they're going to assume that you're not interested. There's a kind of assumption she's not interested, but they are interested, but they just need you to really kind of nudge it a little bit. And that works vice versa, depending on where you live. In the UK, I'm a dark-skinned woman, as far as I'm concerned. I've never had an issue. Men in the UK, there will be similarities, yes. But I think because British culture calls everybody to polite manners and a certain kind of behavior. So whilst they might maybe perhaps share sentiment, there's a way that a British guy behaves that is very gentlemanly by nature, naturally. I think that black British men really love their black women, and I don't think black men are bothered by light skin or dark skin. Here, it's not been my experience, not been observation. I've lived here for 30 years. I really don't think black men here just love black women, period. Right? And those that date white women, they just happen to date white women because they found a white woman they like and they like her, right? But it's not, they don't hunt down white women. It's just, it worked out that way. In the East Coast, I could tell that they actually they actually prefer it. But also, the UK doesn't have a history of slavery. A lot of the people in this country came voluntarily, and many of them, a lot of black people here come from somewhere. So if you live in England, you would say, where you from? And that's very natural for us to say. So if I met another black person, I'd be like, so where you from? And he'd be like, I was, talking to a guy the other day, and he said, where you from? I said, oh, I'm Zimbabwean. And I said, where you from? He said, Angolan. Whilst we're both British citizens, we come from somewhere because our parents are second or third generational, and that makes the difference, because there's a different conversation about identity here, right? So I identify with my Zimbabwean heritage, he identifies with Angolan, so we're not it's a different scripting. So I think that when it's here, it's because the whole world loves American culture, right? Americans are the biggest export of culture. And I think that sometimes Black England, it borrows some of the American struggles, but I don't know if they're truly from us, because we are, there's no such thing as a Black British person, as in generations and generations of British people. We all come from somewhere. We all have a place where we come from, Jamaica or da 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 da. That's the England culture. So there's a different set of situations here. But if you're a Black American woman in the UK, you're gonna be the hottest thing in the world, right? Because you're exotic. I hope that answers it somehow. I'm not speaking as an authority in this space in terms of racial dynamics and things like that. I'm just speaking from experience, the people I speak to all over the world, the stories I hear. I have not done any research. I've not read any statistics. I've not, it's not something that I've explored, because it's not necessary for my work right now, but it may very well be. In the UK, I've met several Black men who have issues with dark-skinned women. Black men in the UK say I'm posh. Personally, I've only been approached by white, Asian, Arab men. Mother is white. Okay. I all my clients that are dark don't have a problem. I've never had a problem. So that is not to say that there is no problem. I just have never come across it. And it's not something that I hear any Black women that I know talking about dealing with. It's not something that is, I really can't speak for everyone, but it's just not something that in my world, in my work, in my scope has presented itself as an issue. But I'm not saying it's not an issue. I live in the US and lived in different parts of the US, and they're just different dynamics in each stage that one has to factor when talking about cross-racial dating. Yeah, and you would know better than me, because I haven't lived in the States at all. I've just really visited. I've been to different parts. I've visited, I'm in the States quite a bit because I have family, but sometimes business. I've been to Nashville, I've been to Tennessee. I'm yet to go to Texas. I'd love to go to Texas. I spent a lot of time in the East Coast. I've been to Vegas. I've been to, different parts of the US, but I can't hand on heart say I've lived in those cultures. I just happened to be in the East Coast for 3 months, which is quite a while for me to kind of observe enough dynamics. I'm Zimbabwean. You lived in Harare for 6.5 years. Aww. That's amazing. That's amazing. Tanzania. Love your page. Thank you. So, Pink Flower Philippa, are you in the UK or? Okay. I don't see any more questions. Let me see if there's one more. Oh. Let's see. Scarlet Threads. Does self-care look different from day to day? Some days I love to self-care and some days I can't. Well, it's your definition of self-care. We have a self-care course that my sister did. It's phenomenal. It's brilliant. But it's really not about pampering. I don't know if that's what you're referring to. But here, the Black Swan Relationship Academy, self-care is really about taking care of your mental, emotional, and spiritual. Okay. Self-maintenance is hair, skin, nails, That's self-maintenance. But self-care is something that we have to do daily, and it's something you have to create protocols for, part of which is not tolerating respect. That's self-care. Okay, so I would like for you not to say you can't take care of yourself, because we should be taking care of ourselves every single hour of every day, in terms of, am I taking care of myself? Am I too tired? Do I need to rest? But if you mean things like pampering and, looking pretty and stuff like that, you don't have to do that every day. I don't look like this every day. Sometimes I'm at home in my pajamas all day, right? Sometimes we need a break, and that's okay. So I'm not quite sure what you meant, but I hope I've answered that to the best of my ability. Okay, that was another question. What does it mean when a guy you just started being intimate with doesn't want to do it often? He's doing it with other people. But do you mean you guys meet, you're together regularly, and sometimes he doesn't want to be intimate? If you're together regularly and you're dating, hopefully you're in an exclusive relationship. If you're not in an exclusive relationship, he's sleeping with other people, and he would rather do that. That's just the sad truth. I'm so sorry, Pumpkin. But you'd have to let me know the context for me to answer that properly. Pink Floss Philip is in London, UK. Yay. Okay. All right. That makes sense. So then you must be posh, darling. Any advice for 35-year woman who had only relationship that failed and scared, timid to go out and meet new people? Yes. Book a complimentary call. You have to take a journey now. You have to take a journey to self-discovery. You have to take a journey to who you are now. Who are you after this relationship? Who are you? What have you learned? Who do you want to be? What life are you creating for yourself? When we are armed with that information and we have that deep self-awareness, self-love, and healing, the fear goes away, because we know that we're not feeling our way in the dark. Okay, so I wouldn't personally, if that's the only relationship you've had and it's failed and you invested that much in it, I wouldn't throw you out into the dating market, not without doing the soulmate attraction journey. I would invite you to book a complimentary call and get on a journey that will heal you and really help put you back together. And then you won't be afraid. You'll be excited. I hope that helps, my darling. Sending you love. Dating in Dubai. I've never been to Dubai, and I've never had a desire to, but I might do. I mean, I have clients from there, but they are Arab women, Muslim women, and they have a unique set of circumstances. But I haven't, and I had a expat client who lives in Dubai, but she's English, and the relationship was with an English person. That's probably the only non-Arab person. So, but I hear it's interesting. So maybe that's a place I need to visit. I am asking because my friend is in the situation and I don't understand it. She does spend every day with him and then exclusive relationship. I've got a video on my YouTube channel that covers this. I'm trying to remember the title. Why he withholds sex. Sometimes it's a power trip. If he is not the provider, if she's got more money than him, he's going to use sex to create a control dynamic. Okay, so he's going to be kind of the gatekeeper of sex in that relationship. So if she has more money than him, he's going to do that. That's what broke men do when they're in a relationship and they can't provide or offer much in the way of financial covering. Then they're going to try and manage the sexual gates. Or he could be asexual, or he could be on the down low, or she is doing something that is putting him off her, or he has other women that he's servicing. So there are a lot of kind of ors, perhaps, but they're within that ballpark. So she probably needs to book a call, my darling. Coach Nadine's just reminded me I've got a special for my discovery calls this month. Yes, I forgot. Yes, for the month of October, I will be doing discovery calls because I don't usually get on calls. My coaches do that. But this month, I want to touch down and do some discovery calls with you. So I think it's like £100 off my discovery calls. I don't know how we can help you get a hold of that. How would we do that? Because you have to be in our newsletter to get that offer. So you might want to go to my website, blackstonerelationshipacademy.com, and join the newsletter so you can get the offer. Or I'll put it in the story somewhere. I don't know. We'll try and get it to you, or you could just DM me. Okay, he's a provider. Okay, then it's not that. I would want to speak to your friend, because she might be doing something. There will be other... When the sex goes funny in relationships, the sex is not the problem. If that makes sense? There usually some underlying problems in the relationship and the bedroom is affected, right? So I would want to have a conversation and see what the dynamic of this relationship is, the setup of this dynamic, you know, what is going on. Then we would be able to see what's going on. But I would hazard to say that there's something in the dynamic of the actual relationship itself. So when we have bed death in marriages where people stop having sex, it's not because of anything other than something went wrong in the relationship. And this is why sex is such an important topic for me to talk about. And for some reason, I just haven't received the grace to talk about it. But what I will say is, we think of sex as a separate part of the relationship. We see sex and sexuality as a different part of the relationship, which is why hookup culture is so toxic, because it wants to separate the sexuality from the person. Casual sex is toxic and horrible and traumatizing because it separates the sexuality from the person. And we have also been conditioned to separate our sexuality from our identity, from the relationship matrix. Okay, when we have a sex problem, we have a relationship problem, and we have an identity crisis, right? So it's just showing up in the bedroom, but the issues are a little bit deeper. I believe I've answered all your questions. Okay, great. I think I've answered all your questions, my darlings. And I gotta go because I got a meeting in a few minutes. But I love you all to bits and pieces. Thank you so much for joining me. And of course, I'll see you on my next live. In the meantime, take care of you. And I love you lots. Bye-bye.